Twitch. Anyway, that's obviously not good, but you see, offensively, we're fully healthy. We're going to go ahead and break down the standings of the NFC West. The Seahawks are 6-4. We're 5-4. Cardinals are 4-6. Yams went ahead and lost yesterday. They are 3-7. So this is a pivotal game. I mean, Arizona, they win. They're 5-6. They're right on our tails. We would be, as we're going to see here in a second. I mean, the Yams are pretty much done. I would pretty much say we bury the Cardinals with the win today, and we claim first place with the game in hand against the Seahawks and being 4-0 in the division going into that game. Win tonight, and I really like our chances at the division. As you see, not much has changed in form. Dallas is in 5th place over New York, but it's still the same. Minnesota lost yesterday. So with the win today, the Niners would be 6-4. We'd move up to 3rd place, and we'd only be 2 games behind Minnesota for second in the conference. We're basically, the only way we go on the road for the playoffs would be going to Philadelphia, which would be for the NFC Championship game. And if that's what it's got to be, I like that problem. But you see, losing today would take us out of the playoffs, and then we're half a game. Atlanta's half a game behind us, and then that's going into 9th. Detroit only a game behind us. You see how slowly we could easily fall out of the play, not completely out of the playoff picture, but we're in a dogfight. Now, luckily, we play Washington, but unfortunately, you lost the tiebreaker against Atlanta. We don't play Detroit. Obviously, that week 18 matchup against Arizona becomes critical. You would hope to split the division and then split the tiebreaker with them and win it or split the season series and win the tiebreaker by better division record. But you would have to beat the Seahawks at that point, and then so you're asking to go 5-1 in the division, which I think we might have to do anyway. So thanks, Bonnie, for the like on Facebook. So ultimately, this is a must win. I mean, congratulations, Niners. You lost any real room for error by losing to Denver and losing to Atlanta and losing to Chicago. We're in a situation where every week's not a must win, but you don't want to start losing these games, considering we have what? Miami, which it is official. Your boy will be in the building with Jason live at Levi Stadium December 4th for the Niners-Miami game. I went ahead and got the tickets on Friday, so it's official like a referee with the whistle. Your boy's going to the Field of Jeans. So, well, we have a comment. Let me go ahead and get to the comment real quick. Gang. I see you, Roberto. What's up, my peeps? I see you, Jason. Gang. Yeah, bro. It's official. We're gonna have a blast when we go to the Miami game. But anyway, so yeah, you're sitting here and you're putting yourself in a position where we only have one out of conference game. I want to say, or no, 2 out of conference games. The Raiders and Miami are 2 out of conference games left on the schedule. So you're going to start to get where if you're this meat of the conference trying to fight, I have no idea. I just get it on local I think it's like ABC or whatever here in the Bay. So that's one thing that I will say. Beto, I use sports, so I have it on my phone and stream it on my TV. There you go. We talking about the Finns game? Yeah. So, well, we'll talk about that later. Oh, there you go. Boom. It's on ESPN. That's right. It's Monday Night Football. Why wouldn't I think about it being on ESPN? So, anyway, you're putting yourself where you're going to start losing some of these tiebreakers with the teams that you don't play. Luckily, we do play Tampa Bay. Luckily, some of us don't live in California anymore. Yeah, know what, bro? Trust me. Your point might not be living in California much longer. But that's a different story. So, um, also not in Cali. Stop distracting me, Jason. Anyway, so ultimately we're gonna start losing these tiebreakers by losing to these teams or not having as good a conference records as them. So these games start to become real critical, and I'm not saying it's like must win or we're out, but you're gonna make things harder than they have to be. Right now, we control our own destiny. That's where you want to be. Most of these games are at home. Now I understand we got some tough games coming up, but welcome to big boy football. You know, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So right now we're looking at offense. They're giving up 25.8 points a game. We're scoring 22. They're giving up 247.1 passing yards per game. We're having 236.3 passing yards per game. Rushing, the rush defense is actually pretty good. They're giving up 110 point and a half yards per game. We have 123.7 yards per game. Total yards per game, we have 370.9 per game, and they have 370 giving up 372.4. They're giving up 217 first down, 72 by rush, 130 by pass, 68 by rush, 98 pass by us. They have 19 sacks. We have given up 18 sacks. They have 14 takeaways. We have 13 turnovers, and they have 43. They're allowing 43.97% on third down. We have 45.6% on third down. Let me see. TJ. What? Yeah, Beto. It's on cable. I think it's just ESPN. Anyway, yeah, it's just normal cable ESPN. So, matter of fact, here we go. You know what? I'll go ahead and I'll pull this up right now. Where is it? Where to watch? I'm not seeing. Normally, the Niners put the where to watch article out or how to watch article out on their website, but I'm not seeing it. They're actually really good about doing that. This day in the Bay. Morning report. Ways to watch and listen to San Francisco 49ers. Okay, so it is on NFL Plus, ESPN. So it just says ESPN Monday Night Football, NFL Plus, how to listen. Yeah, so it'll be just normal ESPN. So, yeah, you did, bro. So offensively, this might be a Jimmy game. And we all remember Halloween in 2019 where what was it, like 428 yards and 4 touchdowns. So this might be a Jimmy type of game. Good grief. What happened? Anyway, so yeah, that gets a little bit dangerous, but their run D is pretty legit. And I don't know if I necessarily want to bang my head against the wall for 3 yards of carry and try to win a game 19-16. Ultimately, I don't think it'll be a relatively high score game. I'll give my final score prediction at the end of the game. I I want to say that we dominate this game just because I feel that we should, but it's the division game, and like I just haven't seen it. Like I haven't seen enough to say, oh, we should win this game 31-17, 34-17. I haven't seen this team give up, uh, consistently enough to score 34 points for me to believe that we're going to put that up, and it's against a team that essentially knows what we want to do. Now, mind you, they haven't played us with Christian McCaffrey, but I just I want to say, use the passing game as a substitute for the run game because I don't want to give them the ball a bunch of times. I understand Kyler Murray is out this week, and we're facing Colt McCoy, but yeah, I'm sorry. After what I personally witnessed at Levi Stadium last year, being there, I can't disrespect Colt McCoy. Defensive comparison, they're scoring 23 points a game. We have 18.1 points per game. They got 220.6 yards, net yards per game passing, 197.9 net yards passing for us, 82.7 yards we're giving up. They have 113.1 yards rushing per game. We're giving up 301.1 total yards. They average 354.9. First downs, they have 100. We're giving up 149. They have 206. Only 41 by rush. They have 70 by rush. 92 by pass. They have 121. We have 29 sacks. They've allowed 27 sacks. Takeaways, we have 10. They have 8 turnovers. They don't turn the ball off them very much. We're allowed 40.98% on third down. They only are averaging 34. What was it? Sorry. 34.78%. Do you get any basically with the addition of McCaffrey wasn't in rotation that before either? I don't, because how could you think that Jordan Mason is going to get carries? He wasn't getting carries before. So is he going to get carries over Elijah? At this point, is he going to get carries? Who is he getting carries over? While Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell are both healthy and available. I strictly think that Mason being up over TDP has to be special teams. The team just trusts TDP or Jordan Mason more on special teams because it can't be running backs. I mean, it can't be at running back. How many carries does he even have on the season? Hey, give me a second. I wasn't expecting this question. I'll tell you right now. Position running back. Jordan Mason on the season has 1 carry for 7 yards. 9 games in. Yeah, Jordan Mason ain't gonna get any carries. Okay, next we have our matchup with the game. So I've actually had to change this. At first it was Charvarius Ward versus D Hop, and then I heard D Hop wasn't going to play, and now he is. So it's going to be George Kittle versus Budda Baker. I mean, this is a matchup that is always intense. And is it just me? Put in the comments, y'all. Do you feel that I don't know how many of y'all watched George Kittle's interview this week, but he kept on saying, he's going to go at my knees. He's going to go through my knees. It kind of felt like George Kittle was taking a little bit of shot at Budda Baker. Now, I know he has ultimate respect for Budda Baker and says, like, hey, I love what he brings out of me as a competitor. But just the vibe I got, he just kept on repeating that. And it made me feel like he was just taking a little bit of a shot at Budda Baker. So I'm really interested to watch this game because let's be real, Kittle Corn hasn't made an impact as a receiver that often. this year. But last week, John Lynch talked about it on his interview on KNBR that George Kittle is the to get things going leader of this team. I mean, how many times have we seen it? George Kittle carries 3, 4, 5 people on his back, and it ignites the team. And next thing you know, we start whooping ass. It happened last week. This is gonna be. I mean, look what he did in that same Halloween game. Obviously, he hurt himself, but just the fight and the spirit he showed that has to translate to the team. So I'm really excited to watch that matchup. Player to watch this game, 9 games this season. Brandon Ayuk leads the team in all categories of catches, yards, and touchdowns. 44 catches, 567 yards, and 4 TDs. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and get into my show notes about Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk has 6 or more catches and 80 or more yards in 4 straight games, longest streak since TO, and leads the team in catches and everything like that, like I just said. Niners are also 32-29 all time versus the Cardinals, and 14-15 on the road, and 0-1 in Mexico City. Both of these games have been road games for the Niners. The Niners are the 3rd most games in Monday night history with 71, tied for most wins on 51. And the Niners are 4-1 versus Arizona on Monday Night Football. A little interesting note on the offense. The offense has converted 45.5 of 3rd and 10 plays this season, most in the NFL. Oh, so that's a little note on that. But BA, I just feel like BA is not going to have 50 catches and 100 yards. But he's just going to be there and just make the consistent catches when we need it this game. I feel like Kittle might have more catches and more yards, but BA is just going to have a lot more important catches this game. Okay. Now we are on to this date in Niner history. One of my favorite segments to do, even though it is a lot of work. Today we're going to November 21st, 1988, Niners versus the then Washington Redskins. The Niners were coming to this game losing 2 straight games, including the infamous 24-23 loss to the then Phoenix Cardinals. Bill Walsh was trying to move on from Joe, and not only was the season up in the air, but it must have felt like the future of the franchise was up in the air. So we get to week 12, and to week 12, the Niners would kick the ball off, but the D would force the Redskins to punt, and a short punt would give the Niners the ball at their own 45-yard line. And 5 plays later, Joe would hit Brent Jones, and the Niners would take a 7-0 lead. But the next drive, on the next drive, Doug Williams would find Sanders, and the game would be tied at 7. The very next drive, the Niners were moving the ball, but Joe would take a sack, trip over Harris Barton, and hurt his knee, and Steve would come in, but the drive would stall, and Mike Clifford would hit a then career 52-yard field goal to make the score 7-10 Niners. The next Washington drive, the D would force a fumble, and it would still be Steve at quarterback, and yet again, the drive would stall. But this time, the Niners would punt, but it didn't matter. The D again would force Washington to punt, but was Steve still in the game for Joe. He would throw high to the GOAT, aka Jerry, and the ball was picked off, but the Niners D again would shut down Washington, force him to punt, and this time they would pay as JT would take it 95 yards to the house to make the score 17-7 Niners. The Niners D would continue to dominate the game. The very next play, Jeff Fuller would pick off Doug Williams, giving the Niners the ball at the Washington 48 with 4:06 left in the half. And in his usual Joe Cool style, Joe would come back in the game, and 10 plays later, draining pretty much the whole rest of the half, Tom Raffin would punch it in from 1 yard out, but the extra point was blocked after a penalty set it back 10 yards. But the Niners would still have a 23-7 halftime lead, and it looked like the blowout was on. But the Redskins would score the only points of the third at 4-yard touchdown, Doug Williams touchdown run, and the lead. Oh, sorry, touchdown drive and the touchdown pass to make the score 23-14 going into the fourth. But after special teams would come up with a turnover to start the fourth, Joe would do what Joe does and lead the Niners on a drive to pretty much ice the game, finishing it himself with a 4-yard touchdown run to make the score 30-14. Actually hurt his knee on the play again, but stayed in the game. And Washington would move the ball into the red zone, and it looked like they would answer the Niners score. But in two plays, our three greatest players would make championship plays. Ronnie Lott would pick off Doug Williams, and 5 plays later, Joe would throw a deep pass to the GOAT. The ball would be tipped, but still land in Jerry's hands, and he would take it the rest of the way for an 80-yard touchdown to make the score 37-14. The Redskins would add a meaningless touchdown to end the scoring and make the final score 37-21. The Niners would win the next 3 out of the 4 games, and go on to win the 3rd Super Bowl of the 80s, which turns your boy into a faithful. All right, that was this week's This Date in Niner History. We got keys to the game. Very simple. Make it a one-game fluke. Colt McCoy killed us last year at the Field of Jeans, going 22 of 26 for 84.6 completion percentage, 249 yards, a touchdown, and 119.4 rating, and getting 23 yards on 7 rushing attempts. This simply can't happen if the Niners want to leave Mexico City with the dub. Key number 2, don't let receivers kill us. The secondary has had trouble covering receivers all season long, allowing a quarterback rating to wide receivers of 92.9. We all know McCoy is going to target Hopkins all game long, so luckily Ward is only giving up a rating of 65. That has to continue to get the win. Key number 3, Monday Night Magic. The Niners are tied for the most wins all time on Monday Night Football. It's time to take sole possession of the first all time, at least until next week if Pittsburgh wins. The faithful. We've heard all week, key number 4. We've heard all week the Niners have taken over Mexico City, how it's going to be 80% Niner fans, and how the Tardinals gave up a home game to play in a stadium that's full of the faithful. None of that means anything if we don't walk away with the win, and the faithful definitely will have something to say about that. And ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I think the Niners win 24-17. Go to 4-0 in the division. Let's get it done, baby. Monday night. Are you ready for some football? Oh, man, I can't wait. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. But before we do, we're going to remind you that it's football day. Make sure you save 10% off of all season 2 for the faithful by the faithful apparel with the promo code Beat the Tarts. Visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop. You save 10% by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Help out Niner Faithful Radio. Link is in the description of this video or podcast. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio. Or visit us on social media. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. Make sure you catch Jason at halftime and Jamie coming live at 9 p.m. here on the West Coast for our post-game show. I shall see y'all tomorrow for Niner Faithful Radio Review. Till then, faith, love, and nappiness. Go Niners! Let's get this dub, baby.